Going on, people? I wanted to do something a little different with my channel. I've actually been thinking of this for a while now. I didn't want to just my channel to be strictly album reviews only, but I didn't know what else to talk about, and so I figured, since I've recently been kind of getting back into my anime watching, I figured I might as well start reviewing some of the ones that I actually get around to finishing. So today I'm going to talk about the last anime that I've actually finished watching the whole thing through, Michiko and Hatchin. I finished this about 2 days ago. I believe it was 22 episodes. Got through it in about probably a little under a month. I was watching this and about 2 other animes at the same time. I was also watching Chrome Shelled Regios, and I just recently started watching Blaze Blue Ultra Memory. Finished Regios. I haven't finished Blaze Blue. Of course, it's not finished yet, but finished this. Yeah, let's get into it. I stumbled across this just randomly, just online, doing whatever, and I saw a screenshot of one of the characters, Atsuko Jackson, and the first thing that caught my eye was, a black chick in an anime, and she, it wasn't like a Mr. Popo looking black chick, or the black chick with like super, exaggerated features, like super thick lips, or like she looked like a regular, normal, realistic person. So I was like, let me Google this and, see what the show is. And the more I Googled through the images, the more, colorful people I saw, for lack of a better term. And so I figured, this looks like something different than I'm used to watching, so I figured I'd give it a shot. And it ended up being a pretty good watch. The story is about the 2 main characters, Michiko and Hatchin. Michiko is an inmate, or she breaks out of jail. She pretty much becomes a fugitive, and she's trying to find her ex-boyfriend or ex-lover named Hiroshi. But before she goes finds him, she goes to rescue Hatchin, and Hatchin is believed to be Hiroshi's daughter. And Hatchin lives in, I think it's a foster home. These definitely aren't, one of her real parents, and they treated her terribly. Which, if you watch, you'll see within the first episode, they treated her pretty bad, and pretty much, Hatchin breaks her out of that household, and they go on this adventure to find this guy. And that plot, in just listening to that plot, it makes it sound pretty simple, but one of the good things I think this anime did was, it was a lot more, I guess, about the journey than more so the destination. They get, during their way to find Hiroshi, they travel through numerous towns. Setting-wise, I probably should have said earlier, it takes place in kind of, I guess it's supposed to be kind of like Brazil or somewhere in South America. You see a lot of Afro-Latinas, a lot of, it just looks very Brazilian, so I'm just assuming that that's where it took place. And they're traveling through all these towns, and they're trying to gather information, trying to, find what they can to see where Hiroshi is. And on the way, they pretty much get caught up in a drug war because of some of the people that Hiroshi ran with. He wasn't the most, law-abiding person, I guess I should say. So he ran with some pretty grimy people, and they get caught up in, they get caught up in so much. I'm not going to spoil it, for people who haven't watched it, but they get caught up in just a whole lot of drama throughout the series of going through so much trouble of trying to find this guy. One of the things I really liked about this was the anime had there was no shortage of interesting people. Throughout all the episodes, you'll run into some characters who might only make one appearance. You'll run into some who you'll see more than once. For instance, Satoshi is one of the drug dealer guys who you'll see more than once, and that dude is pretty much out of his mind. Another recurring character you'll run into is Shinsuke, if I'm saying his name right. He's another guy who is a reoccurring character. And also Asuko Jackson, who's the screenshot person I mentioned earlier. She was actually, I think her and Michiko were like childhood friends, or they just grew up together. But they kind of went about separate paths. Atsuko grew up and became a cop, and Michiko just kind of continued on, doing her own thing. And pretty much, Michiko just pretty much, she's wilding out all the time. She's very, loose handle, off the wall, by her own means, doing anything by any means necessary. But it makes the anime interesting because Michiko has that fiery kind of personality, while Hatchin, who is a little girl, I probably should have mentioned that earlier too. She's 9 or 10 years old. She's kind of, really passive and by the book kind of person, very honest. And her and Michiko clash a lot, based on morals and kind of the way Michiko is kind of just reckless about everything, and Hatchin tries to be a little more, I guess, thoughtful and plan things out logically before she just goes in there. Meanwhile, Michiko is just kind of like, I'm just gonna do what I gotta do, and if I gotta bust a few heads on the way, then I just gotta bust a few heads on the way, and that's just how it's gonna be. But yeah, man, that's pretty much the basis, man. The anime, it's a lot about the journey more so than the destination. And animation wise, I wish I watched most of this on YouTube. I watched half of the series on YouTube and half on some other site that I can't even remember. I wish I had a DVD quality copy, which I just heard this actually got released on a DVD Blu-ray combo that I might pick up. Because I'm sure, watching it on YouTube and watching it on an actual disc, YouTube probably can't do the animation justice. But from what I did see, the character designs were really good, the coloring was really good. Animation overall was really good. Another standout about this anime was the music. I believe this was produced by the same guy who directed Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop. And if you've ever watched both of those, both of those had great soundtracks to them. And Michiko and Hatchin is no exception. A lot of Brazilian influenced music. As I said, it took place in Brazil, so that only makes sense. But the music in this one definitely stood out. And not too much filler, I would say. Towards the middle of the anime, I kind of got a little weary because it just seemed like it was kind of dragging along. It's like, all right, when are they going to find, this guy finally? But like I said earlier, what kept it so interesting was just the random journeys and people that they ran into. This anime did a good job of diversity, and not just in color and personality and characters. You run into a lot of different just kinds of people that you don't see in a lot of other anime. So that helped hold my attention, of making me actually want to finish the series and keep going all the way through. I won't spoil the ending for anyone who hasn't seen it, but I like the ending to this anime because it seemed pretty realistic. It wasn't a complete 100% sail off into the sunset, everything's okay kind of ending. It was kind of a 50-50, but I won't go too in depth because I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't watched it. But overall, man, I think the most important thing about this anime that you can draw from it was basically about the friendship of Michiko and Hatchin. They go through so much trouble to find this guy, and it's kind of just about them getting through it together, even though they clash a lot. And I think there were a couple of instances where Michiko was, they always argued and over everything, but they stuck it out and they went through this crazy, series of adventure to find this guy. I think if you like Samurai Champloo, you probably would like this. You're not gonna see people getting chopped up or any samurai swords or anything, but Michiko can definitely throw down. She there aren't any shortages of fights slash, shootouts that she gets into. There's also a few elements of comedy in here that keep it going. So it was a pretty good perfect storm of everything. If you watch my channel before, same with music, I'm gonna do with anime. I'm not much in giving things ratings, 5 out of 10 or whatever, but I would say this is definitely worth a peek. I'd say at least watch, watch the first few episodes. It'll probably draw you in, especially within the first episode. Stuff is already happening. You'll get to see, like I talked about earlier, how bad her family treated her, and then going from that to Michiko, saving her, and then from them just going on to this journey to find Hiroshi. But yeah, overall, I guess that's about it. I would recommend that you check it out. Like I said, it's something different. Not often that you get to see a whole diverse cast of people of color mixed in an anime. So it was just something visually different to see, but that wasn't just what carried along. It had a good story, good action, pretty, good storm of everything mixed in. So I would definitely recommend it to go check it out. Hopefully I do more anime reviews in the future. I'm not sure how frequently I'll be able to do them. As animes aren't, can't just really go through one in a day, or I can't, 24 episodes of a series can be a while for me to get through, and I've gotten into the bad habit of watching more than one at the same time, but I'll try and drop some anime reviews when I can. I've been watching Blaze Blue Ultra Memory lately, and I've heard that only has 12 episodes, so that might actually be the next one I do. And they're on 8 now. I haven't watched 8, but I'll watch that, and when they get to 12, I'll probably do a review. But yeah, Michiko Hatchin. Go check it out. If you have seen it, tell me what you think. And if you haven't seen it, go peep a few episodes. That's about it. So next time, peace.